island to me, as far as my understanding, is like infrastructure, electricity, Wi-Fi. We're just now getting to, where we were previously in the States around like 2006 time frame, 2010 time frame, when I look at those types of things. So, that's also something interesting to look at.
To keep in mind, just to let you know, we are live on YouTube. The YouTube hemisphere
All right,
is
bet,
tapped
bet.
into Why Y'all Working. First episode, first like. We got one view. I don't know who that person is. Maybe it's just me, but shoot,
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Maybe it is.
This is the first Why Y'all Working episode.
Yep,
Now, we
yep.
got a lot in store. We're gonna have the filmmaker, the genius, the boy with the camera, the poet, Dwight James III jumping on so we can interview him, learn about, his transitions between different mediums, how he's came to where he is and why he works. Just to kick it off, Alaire would love for you to jump in. But to kick it off, Why Y'all Working is a tech radio show, turn podcast, turn interview.
Been podcasts, always interviews.
Then for real, from time, combination.
Combination. I want both of them. Los
But
dos.
yeah,
I feel that.
we
Hey,
really
how was the Drake concert? Since we're talking about combination, how was it? You got Drake and 21, and who else showed up? What was the
KD
vibe?
was there, Shy Glizzy was there, bro.
Ah,
I walked up to Drake. I said, "What's good, bro?" He said, "Oh, you that kid from Why Y'all Working?" I was like, "Yeah, how you know, Drake?" He said, "I know, Michael." So
okay, all
I wasn't at the show. I didn't even show up. I didn't
right.
have no tickets
You
at
didn't go.
all. You
I
could
saw
saw
people.
someone else's
I saw
story.
people. Going to like they said that they got last minute tickets for his Saturday show or his Sunday show or something like that. Because I remember he played back to back. So yeah, I know people that went both times to see him back. I don't know why. I was
Dang.
broke at the time when the tickets went on sale. So I literally could not buy myself a ticket. That's the only reason why I wasn't there. Otherwise, I would have been right there with them. I would have been like, "This is the best time of my fucking life." It would have been Drake all day, baby. That's what would have been happening. So
That's how it be. I'm sure everyone here has done that before. Either like you didn't go to the event and you are hating severely, like, man, I get it, y'all. Chill. It's not even that serious. It don't even look that fun. Or you there and you're like, man, I can't be hanging out with broke people.
it's like y'all speaking to me? No, we're not even on the same page, fool. I feel that. Yeah, that heavy.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Like Alaire, we're both at like unique stages where like we locked in on that founder grind. We are still into it. Like, don't get it twisted.
I
Like,
mean, you're a corporate man, so I don't know how much founder time you be doing, but me, yeah.
yeah, you got me there. You got me.
I'm like, I know you are not capping right now because like I rarely see you. I mean, you go to all the Baltimore area like ecosystem events and stuff, so I don't do that personally, but you know,
Sorry.
it's just I don't know. What is the Baltimore ecosystem doing nowadays? Maybe let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How have the ecosystem Tuesdays? What is it again?
Equitech.
They Equitech Tuesdays. What is Equitech? Let's explain that, for example.
Yeah,
We can
let's
talk about
do
that.
that. All right, updates. We are live on Facebook as well.
All
We're
right.
gonna get it popping on Instagram last, but hopefully we get that last.
Last.
But yeah, we should even have. I'm excited, bro. First episode, just to let y'all know again why y'all working. We're gonna keep growing, just giving y'all good content. Like we should have a little like news, like sound and stuff, just to keep y'all updated on what's going on. But yeah, Equitech Tuesday is a weekly event. I missed the one 2 days ago on Tuesday, but I was there the
That's the
week
one you
before.
invited me to. That's funny as
Oh
shit.
shit!
If I had shown up and you weren't there, I'd have been so mad, boy. That's why
I've
I don't
done
be
that.
going to these things. It's okay, but like I'll go everyone, but you gotta be there that time because I don't know nobody.
Yeah, I be doing that, man. That's one thing about me. If I invite you somewhere, before you get in the car and
You
go,
better
call me.
text him and call because he might be asleep or he might be at another function that's in a completely different location. For
Be
real.
acting like I'm serious too. Yeah, nah, bro, I'm there. I just need to get the ice. Nigga,
Be like, yeah, sure.
But it's
whatever you
cool.
say.
Yeah, Upsurge, Baltimore created Equitech Tuesdays as a way for people within the Baltimore ecosystem to connect. What can I say? They're bringing new people in. Like it's getting that's the part that I am enjoying now. Like when you go to New York, you'll meet people who are like, "Oh, I just stumbled in," and they high key are like this vice president or CEO of some company. Like a month ago, I met this founder who exited his company to Facebook and worked
Ooh.
at Facebook for like 6 years. He just left and he just got like a brownstone in like Mount Vernon. So I think at least like I didn't even talk about like what it is, but the benefits of it is like as Baltimore keeps growing, you're seeing all the Lexington market and the train. As it grows, Equitech will become like the elite thing to do, invite only. Because right now it's like, literally anyone can go. Is it worth the time? And that's, I mean, something to talk about. It's like, oh man, I just met this founder who just started their company. I met this employee who's like a startup founder. Pava's out there. Shout out to Big P.
Yeah.
Uh, but and then Naomi, cool people. Corey's there too. But it's worth it. I'm gonna keep. You know me. I'm gonna keep it political. I ain't keeping it a buck this time. I'm gonna just be like, true.
He said, I can't keep it a bean with you, but I'm gonna just let you know this is what it is.
That's what
That's
it
what you
is.
can get into. Huh?
Mhm.
I feel that. I feel that. That's
For those
definitely
free.
definitely big facts. It's free right now. You think they're gonna turn it into like a gathering spot kind of vibe with like a membership and stuff, or is it gonna be like more of a snooty kind of like you got you in now? So everybody that's been coming for however long before we shut this off, you grandfathered in, and everybody else, I'm sorry. Like, is it one of those things? And then you got to be like the newest kid on the block in order to get selected in order to come in, or what?
Type. Awesome. Like I invited you, not y'all.
Mm-mm-mm.
You
Yeah.
maybe. They're doing like, I mean, even the master classes that they're doing, these like monthly kind of learn lunch bag sessions where you can learn some new stuff. That's free right now.
Okay.
They are doing sponsored. Yeah. Next week, they're doing it with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra
Mm.
in partnership with Mind Grub.
Oh, okay.
And it's like $15 off. The tickets are like $25, but it's $15 off if you use the Equitech code.
Okay. Okay.
They're gonna have like this kind of discussion about like technology and AI and how it plays into like the real space, and then from there they are going to have like a AI generated concert, which is tough. At least like a quartet or like a musical ensemble, like generated by AI, which seems cool.
Okay.
For me, every starving entrepreneur knows, what the hors d'oeuvres hitting like at the end of the day.
I mean, hey, you and me both. We used to be there.
For real. What's it called? Taking that crab dip from Betamore.
Mm-hmm. All
Sheesh.
them after hour pizza moments. Ooh,
Clutch. Clutch.
they saved us during college for sure.
Because like by the time you get like, because you finish and then you're probably working. So by the time you finish, it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm not trying to go to late night because
Mm.
you can even tell high key like
Late night was
the
only good
difference.
on certain nights, yo. Like, and it was like depending on who and or when you went. For
Mhm.
me, I love getting the late night salads, so I will always go there and get the late night salads, or like maybe the cheeseburger and fries from time to time. But let me tell you, them salads, busting.
Bussin'? I
Mm-mm.
never did that because it's like Subway style. They will make it fresh for you.
They make it fresh. It was better than Subway. Better than Subway. That was the only place, even better than that salad place on campus. I'm telling you, I waited my whole day. I work out the entire day. Like, I'm gonna get me a late night salad, and guess what I did?
Mhm.
Right there.
Maybe that's where it started, like the late night eating, binge eating, because late night didn't open until what, 9 p.m.
Yeah,
It goes
because
till
like
2.
yeah, and then we used to remember when we used to use our unlimited meal plan for
That's the
to go
master.
back for the semester. They clipped that. They were like, we losing too much money. I wish.
Oh,
That's true
sick.
entrepreneur timelines right there. Oh
Hmm.
my god. Apparently UMBC has a new accelerator fund or something like that Kevin stood up. I didn't talk to him much about it. I talked to him today, but
Okay.
very much interesting. USM system can't do anything for us in my company right now, so that's great. He confirmed that.
Hmm.
And it's just cool to catch up to for real, just to understand like where and let them know like where like we see the UMBC USM system as of right now. Like Maryland's ecosystem is trash for companies that aren't necessarily a part of that stereotypical
Biotech.
biotech STEM field oriented research, based fields, these med tech, like not even fintech. I think I can say fintech because UMBC hasn't really had fintech companies come out of it. I
Mhm.
haven't heard of any, if there is one, other than my company that's like a hybrid, you know. Um, and even for like our system, we don't have something like the Smith Center of Business or anything like that, like Maryland has, or their
Georgetown.
or Georgetown, or even John Hopkins has a network of entrepreneurs that like they're very active in their ecosystem, investing in companies that come out of that school and the university, like so for us, we don't have that, and there we recognize like, and I was talking to him about that because me and Anthony have had these like talks where we are recognizing that we're gonna have to be like me, you, Yemi are all gonna have to be that generation that sets that up for the people that come after us, because we know what we need to do in order to make the things that we know we didn't have happen, kind of thing. So that's kind of interesting for me, and it was just cool to have that conversation with Kevin earlier today, just to kind of see where the ecosystem is and what he's trying to do. He's just like, I'm just trying to help. So like, I'm like, hey bro, like we're just trying to talk to as many people as we can, get the word out, and we'd love to include the university, but they missed out. So we love to include
Mhm.
the USM system, but they missed out on that opportunity. It was a grave mistake on their behalf. But don't say that you're going to be supporting entrepreneurs and students and do the exact opposite, and then also not provide any feedback or any sort of like constructive criticism to help the companies progress too. Because it's not like we haven't done our own due diligence and work on a business plan and all of that stuff and apply and take the time to apply and then get back a message saying, sorry, we're still working on feedback for you, even though they said that they were going to provide some feedback. And I can show you the email if y'all want. It's literally some BS, man. Some BS straight.
So did you get
So
any info from Kevin about
no,
it?
I mean, not even. I assume he was involved in the process because that's what it seemed like from the responses that I got. But he was just like, "This is just what it was this year, and unfortunately, we're trying to do better for the next, people that come through, and please don't give up on the system." And I literally told him, I was like, "This was the last kind of." This was our last reach out to the system because the system is useless at this point. We've done everything without the system, so for us to lean on the system for what we need more than what the system can provide to us. So if the USM Momentum Fund isn't dropping money, and we essentially can't get money from the Able Foundation if that doesn't happen, right? They need a co-sponsor, co-investor on the
Sure.
deal. So they would like the USM Momentum Fund is supposed to be that pillar to support every other startup that's coming out of these universities and these institutions in the 12 institutions that are in Maryland. If they can't support these startups or don't want to for whatever reason, startups are dead in the water, yo. Like
Mm.
it is what it is. And then people will be like, "Oh, go to TechCo." Y'all don't remember what happened to TechCo between the years of 2017 and 2020? Like, no, I'm not about to go there with anyone. But my
Jeez.
thing is that there are still policies that are in place and still people in place that aren't necessarily going to be founder friendly or have the rules or the NDA, not even NDAs, but you get what I'm saying, like the investment
Mhm.
documentation that is going to be in the founder's favor. Now, I get founders have to make these sacrifices and all of these different things, but when a founder actually knows their worth and have done the due diligence and the backing and all of that other stuff and have literally grinded, bootstrapped their way from zero to still zero, but at a different place now, like you can't tell these founders that this is what it is when it in fact is not. Like
Mm.
nobody's investing in seed right now. Seed has changed significantly. Nobody's investing before pre-revenue or anything like that unless you have an ace in your hole or somebody that's the top of whatever organization that can just pass you through due diligence, and you don't even have to worry about that because you don't have anything to do due diligence on. That's what most happens. Like everybody's just going off of a whim, and that's really how due diligence happens. Which is unfortunate, but like if you don't know anybody, you're not going to get any money, so that's just kind of where we're at. And hopefully, things will be looking up soon. I can definitely say within this year we'll have some type of money, at least a minimum of 1 million raised. But at the same time, I can't be overzealous with that amount either
Mhm.
because I want to give leeway for myself to be able to make that much or be able to do that much, because at this point, like, we got the connections to the artists, but we just need the money to back them. And
Mhm.
hey, I don't know what's next, but we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to see what the system can help us with, and we know that they can't. So it's just kind of like, I know y'all can't do anything. I wish y'all could. I know y'all wish y'all could, or y'all say y'all wish y'all could, but the proof is in the pudding, fam. Like, the money ain't there, and we're not rocking anymore. Like, don't put your name on something that you ain't support. That's how I
Don't
feel.
write checks that your ass can't cash.
Exactly.
Sheesh.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, clipping that right there. Ooh, that's the intro right there.
I'm so done.
But nah, we're gonna. So one, like a response. I'm sorry, like that shit is
You good?
disheartening. Like for what we were doing, like with Mindstand, it was like very much a dedicated effort to be in front of people and to build this. Like even when people saw us, you damn near can make a silhouette of like the three of us, and people would know
Right.
who those founders were. So like, yeah, if you're getting to a point where, and we experienced it, if you're getting to a point where they're critiquing like the format of your data room, if they
Mm-hmm.
said I've opened it and da 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 da, there's certain things that when they ask you questions, it's like, okay, yeah, y'all just gonna say no.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's like they're putting stopgaps, they're moving their goalposts, moving at the end of the day, like, and that's just, it's just stupid. Like, don't try to
Mm.
leave the door open and say that this is the real reason when you were never going to invest in the first place. Like, that is that's the main number one thing I feel like gets entrepreneurs mad at VCs, especially, well, besides the fact that some VCs, or a lot of them, I would say probably 80% of them, aren't founders first. They are just purely investors, and they look at either the numbers, or they care about prestige, or whatever the case is, and they're not actually looking at, the founding teams and the scrappy ability that they have, or maybe the cultural, edge that they might have in a particular market, that will put them over that white founder, or that is trying to do the exact same thing, but is going to appropriate their way into it. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, like, it's
Yeah.
stupid. Like, bro, for example, years ago when we were reaching out for VCs and like telling them about like upfront in our company and stuff, we found out that there's a VC that invested in a quote unquote competitor. But guess what? That competitor just so happened to know the person in charge of the organization that had say so on whether or not they invested in this company, and that's how they got the investment. They just pushed it through, because what it came down to is that they were questioning us on the business model and all of these different things that we had already figured out, that we took the time to figure out, right? And they were
Mhm.
like, when we asked them like, oh, so where is this company that you guys invested in, they were like, well, we didn't figure, they were like, oh yeah, well, they didn't, they don't have this figured out yet, and we're still trying to work with them on this. And I'm like, oh really? Okay. But yet you won't invest in us because we're not as far along.
Mm.
Now granted, it is a conflict of interest for them to invest in us anyways, based on what she just told me. But again, the same thing is like, oh, you just wanted to pull information out of me, that's why you took the
Mhm.
meeting. Because other than that, there would have been no reason for you to take the meeting, so
Which
that's
sucks because, like, there's so many founders, especially early on, that are like, oh, let me not talk to this person. Let me not get in these rooms because of IP. And for like 60% of them, let's be honest, let's keep it a buck. For 60% of them, they don't got it. Like, there's like anyone can copy this. That's true. It's not that big a deal.
right.
But like, once you get to certain doors and yeah, seed stage, like you figured out a data room, you've done the C Corp, you've talked to lawyers, there really is people who are ready to just take your information and give it to a portfolio company.
Right.
Like, nah, I've seen that. It hasn't happened to me, but I've definitely heard that, especially like a black woman who, they interviewed a company, and then there was another white led company dealing in the same space as her. They gave them her information and they literally helped their portfolio company rebrand themselves to look like theirs. I mean,
Exactly. That's what they
yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
They're also supposed to help their portfolio companies, and one way to do that is through due diligence and, just looking out for competitors. And by them already doing their normal jobs, they're technically already doing that. Now, granted, may not be ethical, but it's business. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you can't be mad at that. That's why it's never just about the execution. Sometimes it's about the idea and the team that you have. Other times it's just about the execution. Point blank, plain and simple. You look at Threads. Threads was built to kill Twitter, and guess what? Twitter's dead.
and a
It
body.
is.
Literally,
It is X now. My little birdie is gone. My little birdie, my blue birdie gone. Okay. X is a new wave. Facebook came to do what Facebook came to do. Put a stop to that. Thank you, Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberger.
Hey,
Nah,
what can
Elon
I
Musk
say?
should play on that though. High key, just put the X on like the bird and be like, yeah, nah, because that's actually like,
That would outrage so many people. I think even Jack Dorsey would have to say something because honestly, the reason why I feel Jack Dorsey probably not saying anything right now is because he's getting a piece of what X is going to become, and that's for me is probably why he hasn't been mad. I also got invited to the his Blue Sky app that I think he started.
what?
So
You be on the wait list, boy.
I mean, I just happened to like I had gotten on the wait list a couple months ago, and all of a sudden I got this notification that I'm accepted. I'm in now, so I guess I need to use it more in order to get invites to send it out to people. But like I just haven't, tapped in yet. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to seeing what that kind of leftist kind of app is. But I'm not,
So you feel like at a core politically, it's like more democratic? That's what
yeah,
you're saying?
very much so. It's very regulatory, like very regulated. It seems like I'm even scared to like talk about some like because what I want to do there is like talk about like
Black
global
experience.
global affairs and like not even just black experience, but like global affairs and like stuff like that. Just keep it to like global affair commentary, like international affairs
Mhm.
commentary. But like I feel like with international affairs commentary, even that can be like, oh, it needs to be fact checked and all that stuff. But I'm like, if it's just commentary, I should be able to say what I want. So like again, it's really just figuring out the ebbs and flows and the balances. It's not a conservative platform, but it's also not the most liberal in the sense that there's still an oversight kind of thing, you know.
Hmm.
So like multiple people will be checking and balancing all the things that everybody else says. So I'm just interested to see how that type of thing works, rather than having one central place where it gets reviewed in this content repository like YouTube has or like Instagram has or Facebook, for example, right? But it's done differently, so we'll see.
I'm learning like taxonomy, like how to organize information, in a way that's like, I mean, when you think of like machine learning and organizing data structures, it's all like it all mirrors like the brain. Like we're trying to make technology more emblematic of like a brain, how we just think of like a color and then we associate it with a sound or a smell. Like that's interesting that they're just taking a whole different approach towards looking at information because our brains need it.
Right.
Like that dopamine, like you can really get addicted to like what that is. But I think it would be a great opportunity. Again, thank y'all. This is why y'all working. Got nothing but love. Again, a tech radio where we're breaking down for y'all to understand. A great clip for us. We were just talking about TikTok. Alaire, how do you get funded as a Black founder in 2023? Let's say you
You
have a
don't.
tech business. You
You
said
don't.
what?
You don't.
You don't.
The numbers prove it, right? I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you right there, but like Harlem Capital put out this tweet the other day. Remember about the founder saying like "fuck you" or whatever to Mans because he got rejected. But when he dropped the numbers, I mean, he's kind of right. I mean, like the founder in essence. Like I feel for the founder because why are you saying you're investing in all these companies and you already know the numbers, but you see how many companies come to y'all and the percentage of companies that they invest in is below 1%?
And that's like every fund at this point.
Right. So I'm like, how much are you doing to impact the environment? Number one, right? Founders are looking at you guys to, you know, make an impact larger than life, I guess you can say. It's unrealistic to expect that, but that's what the community is expecting of Harlem Capital because they've painted themselves and they've brought themselves to be the very first or one of the very first black facing VCs in general, like the firm itself. Now,
Mhm.
granted, I don't know where their LP's money comes from. It's probably not predominantly black and brown entrepreneurs or wealthy individuals. I know that for a fact because a lot of organizations that were started by black people did not get the funding from blacks. So my thing is that when you realize that and you understand that, okay, then ask yourselves, well, how many of these teams that they're investing in are fully black teams are fully minority teams. Very, very fucking few, right? Then we have the instances where we look at the gathering spot. I know that may not be a deal that they particularly invested in. They may have, but the thing is that when you look at deals like that, and then you see the reactions to what happens after a deal like that gets sold or bought out or whatever, right? And see whose hands it really is in versus who's the face of the company, then people start to realize and put the two pictures together. This is the same shim sham flam that everybody goes through in every single industry, right? So again, you sit here and ask me, do black founders, where can black founders find VC? We're actually talking about this early stage capital at UBC in September on the 22nd, which is funny. So the exact same thing I'm going to tell them is it's very hard to do so, and it's easier to build it yourself than for it to come from someone else. I guess for lack of a better word or phrase to say, right? So what that means is whether you build your own audience first, build your own supporter base, um, and leverage them
Mm-hmm.
as consumers to get that capital, right? Because once you have that capital, then other people want to help leverage that capital to make more capital, in which case, yes, then you can get money, right? But again, first you have to build that supported that leverage, right? So people can see that. Nobody in today's age, and I will say nobody because it's just a general term for the industry in VC or in entrepreneurship in general, especially for a minority entrepreneur, barely anybody is going to invest in you unless you know somebody that is a family, friend, personal liaison, or whatever. Unless you're a person that knows Will Smith or Jamie Foxx and one of them that has mad money and you're not one of their family members that wants to start a business, boom. Prime example, Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith was able to start his Just Water business off the help of his father. That is now $1 million business as a result of that. You see it in stores everywhere in the world. But without that connection to his dad, and if he was just a regular person out here, just like me and you, that would not have happened. He would have had to build those connections by himself, build that customer base by himself. Because again, not all of his music fans are fans of his business. While
Mm.
yes, they may be aware of it, right? That's just an addition to what he does. He's trying to create additional revenue streams so that way he can have that same type of wealth that he sees his parents have. Now, granted, we're not going to talk about all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, but we're talking about the business. So it's like, yes, a founder like Jaden Smith can make that work. He has the connections, the pedigree, the name behind him, right, to get access to the capital. We, on the other hand, do not. So as a result of that, we need to work hard. That's why we go to Baltimore Angel meetings. That's why we go to Equitech Baltimore on Tuesdays to see who we can meet because we don't have that access. We don't have that network. We don't have those connections. So, that's really what it comes down to. Is you got to build the capital in order to get the capital. It's really unfortunate, but that's just the way that the world works, especially for us at this current juncture. So,
I appreciate that. Like the highlight here is, you're black and you're raising capital in 2023. You're not just raising capital, you're raising social capital. You're
right.
building a name and reputation off of yourself, and it is not crowdfunding. Like, please, I'm begging so many people, do not, like, crowdfunding is not for you. It's not for your business. The people who crowdfund well have a plethora of different supporters who can come in immediately and then just start funding the business, put in that first 5, 15K, 20K. And then all of a sudden you're posting a day later, like, I can't believe we're 30% of our goal. And then you use FOMO to drive the rest of the funnel. It's all a funnel at the end of the day. Being black, requires you to be exceptional. I mean, Just Water, let's be clear. That shit good. That water good.
Hey, to each his
But
own.
even beyond that, like you're saying, when we look at life water, when we look at vitamin water, when we look at alkaline, like the landscape of it doesn't just support great. If you're a black founder and you're raising money, you better be Superman because people are going to expect you to be Superman just to get the crumbs.
Right. Facts.
And we clipping that. What's up, y'all? This is Why Y'all Working, a tech radio show hosted by me as co-host, Michael Agusanya.
And Alaire Jameson.
And we are here to demystify technology and small business to educate, inform, and entertain y'all. And we got us a guest today, boy. Hey, Dwight, you better tell me right now to stop because I saw you from Florida down south, and I love using them accents, boy. All right, we got us a filmmaker, a poet, a savant, someone who deeply cares about entertaining and sharing their perspectives with other people We got Dwight James III live with us today. Let's give it up.
Welcome, Dwight.
Appreciate it, man. What's going on? What's going on with y'all boys? How y'all feeling? How y'all living?
Good, man. We just
Working.
taking it easy. We're not talking about stuff really, emotionally. We just
Too heavy, It's just something light. Some light for the day.
How you
How you
doing?
been?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm out here at Beaumont, Georgia. So excuse the madness that's behind me.
All
Um,
good.
Man, life been great so far. Doing a lot of writing. I have a few projects in the works. And I had a very intimate show yesterday, Ode to Home and Back, which was a culture show, you know what I mean? And just talked about all things home, man. My siblings, my grandparents, my mom, even myself, because a lot of people don't really understand that you carry home everywhere you go. So you have to be aware, you know what I'm saying, what you're presenting to the world. So I enjoyed my time yesterday. I appreciate everybody that could pop out and whatnot. And there's always more to come. I announced something that's going to be happening, very special, but I got to keep it on ice until next year.
Okay.
It's really a if you were there, you were there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it definitely is part of the evolution of my journey as an artist and as a creative. So I'm looking forward to sharing it when that time comes. But
All right,
some
we'll
people will
invite you
catch on
back
to
for
it.
that. We'll invite you back for that. Okay, when everything drops.
Bet.
So, tell us, why do you work? Like, what made you become an artist? I mean, you can tell us the shortened version if you want, but what is the purpose of you being a creative in this day and age of 2023 when everybody is starving and trying to find a way for themselves? And now you know that SAG AFTRA is like fighting for their rights, and everybody telling them go indie and Hollywood in shambles. So, where are we now? I know you in Atlanta, Georgia, and stuff. So, that's the hometown for
You
me.
at that
Right,
Tyler
Stone
Perry
Mountain.
studio?
So how's that going? That might actually be the surprise. Who knows?
Well, I actually have not met Mr. Perry quite yet.
Okay.
Honestly, a hard catch. He is the type of person where, like, if you can't get him, then that means that somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Okay.
I remember vividly one of my visits to Atlanta. I just pulled up to the studio, seeing like, hey, I'm trying to figure out what opportunities that y'all got for me. What can I do? And they was like, you got to go online for that. And you know what I mean? And I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself, bro, how they drove all the way here and you telling me to go online? I was cool about it. I said, all right, bet. Y'all will see me again someday. It may not be today, but y'all will see me again someday. So, I just been in space for digital media. I do some commercials for local brands as well as medium-sized entities. And then also I'll either direct commercial or even do a photo shoot for the brands as well. And when it comes to writing, man, I do this stuff because I didn't want to be typical. I didn't want to just wake up and then, work for somebody else. And I know that's the most basic version of it, but to make it go even further, I observed a lot when I was younger, and I still observe people now. And I just saw how boring people's lives were when they were doing things they didn't want to do. And I know you have to do what you have to get where you want to go, but for me, I'm the type of person where I have to do what I love in order to survive. I can't fake it. Like, job at Express, so I thought, okay, cool, this is my favorite store. I like shopping there and whatnot. I promise you, I probably only stayed there for maybe 2 weeks. I never came back because I was like, I can't see myself enjoying this. And I'm not afraid of hard work. You know what I'm saying? That's my middle name if I were to have one. And honestly and truly, I just need to make sure I'm doing something that matters to me and that can make an impact. As someone that posts a lot online and, I'm sharing my story, sharing a lot of things I'm going through and experiencing, I try to focus on numbers, but I can't really focus on numbers, man. I know people watching. I know they tune in. I know they're paying attention and whatnot. And honestly and truly, is that most people don't have. I know how to interact with people in the real world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can be great on camera, great online, but if you don't know how to talk to people in the real world, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You can have all this attention, but then once the spotlight is on you in real life, then what are you gonna do with it? So,
It'd be
and
hard
that's
to
what
get
I've
some
been.
focus.
Big facts. Yeah.
You
Tyler
know
the
what I
Creator
mean?
definitely said the same thing that you said. Like, don't worry about the fucking numbers. Don't do that. Like, just fucking create, and somebody will be the right person to be watching. You know. So that's the message really for all the creatives, for everyone, even the entrepreneurs too, like yourself. Like you trying to do the solopreneurship, but then at the same time, you still also want to get your art out there in the world. So you're helping others while at the same time helping yourself. And I think that that's the most important thing that like a lot of people don't really recognize. That's the hard work that you're trying to do. Like most people are like, it's too hard for me to go after my dreams, right? But at the same time, then you're living a life half fulfilled at that point. Like, well, I'm not saying that like, I'm not saying that's bad. No, that's cool. That's on you. But for me, like yourself, Dwight, like we not in that boat.
Yeah.
I'm not settling for less. So I'm gonna be out here making a million so that way I can live how I want to live, and then everybody can be mad because I'm living the La Vida Loca. You feel me? Like, hey, it is what it is at that point.
And
Yeah,
then like
man.
the three of us, like each of us come from like such strong family backgrounds. That's something that like I recognize and appreciate because, some people have to, give up on their dreams, moonlight or try something new, just to maintain a level of stability. Like generational wealth and like generations, how they approach financial stability is completely different. So you might be looking around you and no one is doing what you're doing. And you might be looking around and what you're posting on your story is completely different from everyone else. But that's going to make you. That's what's going to provide, if it's not, the financial success that you have right now, that's that motivation that your kids are going to see when they Google your name. That's that motivation that the people around you is going to want to build their family and build their businesses, more in tune with the passion that you have for your own work. So I'm sure for all of us, like this is a no-brainer. But it comes from, I'm sure each of us can talk about, how our parents made sacrifices to make sure we had when they didn't.
I'm still making sacrifices to this day. Real talk, like legit. Last time that I was home, you know what I'm saying, like this past weekend, legit. My mom waking up, go from one job, go to the next, and that's just how it's been like majority of my life, man. And I just told myself that's not the way in which I want to live. That's not the way in which I'm gonna live. It doesn't matter what I gotta do. I'm willing to sacrifice to do the things that I want to do because life is just different when you're doing what you want, man. It's so different, and I think that's one of the main reasons I'm drawn to Atlanta because it's an incubator of people that are all enterprising, that are all figuring it out, and like it's like New York Part Two. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, can't nobody really compare to New York, but like seeing the palette that's spread across the diaspora here in Atlanta is amazing and it's inspirational, man. And like even for the folks that feel like they're discouraged for coming to Atlanta and it may not work out, like you got to understand this is Wakanda. This is not something that's common, man. It's not common at all. But also being in a city like this, like you have to make sure you got something to bring to the table. Everybody else got their own thing. What are you doing? You know what I mean? So it's funny that y'all mentioned community because that's one of my for just being around people and for growing one another. I feel like if you can't pour something into the next person, then you feel like that you can just exploit everybody else. That's gonna make whatever you're doing be even worse because you didn't put, you know what I'm saying, others before yourself. Like yes, um, there's a level of selfishness and selflessness that you have to balance out. But you got to understand, like we came into this world alone. It's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing though. One thing in Atlanta is you got to make you some money, man. Y'all are one of the most focused group of people, whether it's the water boys, down to the entrepreneurs, down to the trappers. Everybody working somehow. And why are you working is to provide. Where do you think that comes from? That essence of opportunity. I know like railroads has like been something since the 80s, Atlanta is a port city by and large. So people are coming there from Alabama, Memphis, even, North and South Carolina to do business. Do you think that's that spirit is still true in the city?
Definitely, man. Like when I tell you, Atlanta, um, and it's just the type of space where when you look at, how can I say this? Like if you look at Atlanta proper, and if you look at the cities that are surrounding it, all of these cities have their own atmosphere. They all have their own space and their own personality, and that's what makes you think. Wait a second. Maybe I don't want to be in the city today. Maybe I want to be in Alpharetta. Maybe I want to be in Marietta. Maybe I want to be in East Point. You know what I'm saying? Being able to have those is what makes Atlanta what it is. Because though Amaretta did talk about different parts of Atlanta that aren't Atlanta.
I love her. I love her song.
I mean, it's cold, and it's truth to it. But the funny part about it is that, like, because of the fact that all these places are not Atlanta, they are what make Atlanta still. You know what I mean? Even though I grew up here, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County. And for those that don't recognize, anytime that somebody says they're from Duval, you gotta make sure that they understand you from Duval. That's how you know. That's how you recognize. Man. But honestly, truly, even in these 2 years that I've been in Atlanta, I've talked to a lot of the OGs been here for years, and just learned from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. How did Atlanta change from this era? What was it like at Freaknik for the people that were there? You know what I mean? What was it like at the Olympics? You know, having a city that has so much history, just be hungry to learn as much as you can, right? And unfortunately, like, learning about history has become a forgotten art, and it's most because of social media. You know what I mean? Like, people think that just because something is and that you can get it now, and that if somebody throws up a course or they have like this quick step guide to figure out something, and that means that you know it all. But reality, like, you put in that work, you still got to put in the long hours, you still got to study, and that's what separates you from the people that come here just for, you know what I'm saying, whether they are successful or not, or the people that are stuck here because there's no energy no matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? You won't find something like Atlanta. You know what I mean? At least right now. So
that's interesting. I'd love for us to talk a little bit about like social media and what that means, because that's very unique. A lot of questions I'm sure we can ask you as a filmmaker, like in a social media age, you know, people want instant gratification. What does LeBron say? They want that instant oatmeal. You hop on Twitter and, you know, they say, F it. Here's the whole Oppenheimer movie or whatever movie that literally just came out. You can get all the information right in front of you. But when you approach art, it's not about receiving information and getting dopamine. It's like dopamine off of the experience. It's being, you know, in that environment. It's talking to people, talking to the artists, you know, understanding why they created things, understanding why the lighting comes in at a certain angle, why the saturation is, you know, more or less. How do you look at social media? You know, a saying I've loved, and someone I love, Charlemagne the God, has said this. He said, like, use social media as a billboard, you know, to get what you're doing out there. But for someone that's, you know, not only using it as a billboard, but as a method to entertain and grasp people, just, you know, when you look at social media, what do you see it as? What are some of your handles? That'd be a good place to start too. Make sure people can follow.
Yeah, man. Everything online is Dwight James III. Find everything you need about me. That's my website. That's all my social. Anything you can imagine and whatnot, Dwight James III, you'll find it. But honestly, truly, man, I see social media as a tool. It is something where, like, you are using all these different platforms in order to communicate and connect with people. But then the other piece that makes it a little bit complicated, right, is that you use social media to really learn things as well as do research. Like, not a lot of people use it for research outside of, like, oh, let me find out pricing, you know what I'm saying, but let's take this a step further. Let's go on different accounts and find like different images for mood board. Different accounts that are doing interesting things that will teach people about like different lighting situations, different ways in which that you can compose work. So for me, anytime that I'm looking up different accounts, like I'll just save them all under different folders, so that way I'm like, all right, cool. When I need to find inspiration for however I want to color grade a project, I'm gonna go on like Cinema Palette, or like let's say I want to look up how I can edit a. I might not know what the name of that technique is. I'm gonna go on Eye Candy, right? Which Eye Candy was created by a art director. His name is. He works at White and Kennedy. So it's funny because a program that I was a part of called the One School, which is created by the One Club. That's how I found out about Eye Candy. I'm thinking to myself, yo, this is such a helpful tool because there are so many people that watch ads, that watch commercials, and also watch music videos, but they can never figure out what editing technique is being done. So that's a perfect example of like being able to use social media to learn different things and techniques, so that way you're not just doom scrolling and you're like, hey, I done saw excuse my French, I done saw this girl shake her ass, I done saw like this thing on the shade room or spiritual world or something like that, you know what I mean? You done seen all these different things, but then you ain't seen something that can really enhance and make, you know what I'm saying? Like just because social media is entertaining, that doesn't mean you can't use it for education as well. And that's just how I feel about it. It's a tool, so we got to use it accordingly and not be used by it.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen NPC TikTok lives like controlling, and as soon as you see money attached to it, I think that's always like
that's all you need.
As soon
and
as
then
you
it's
see,
like whoever hops on it first gets the bread, and it's like, well, like, are you mad at them for hopping on a trend and getting a coin, or you mad that you ain't do it? Like, which one is it? Like, you know, because it's either that or you're submitting yourself to also contribute to that, and then you're a part of the problem now that you say is going on, right? Because whether or not you're actually giving money, you're still giving a view, which also counts towards that bread. So again, are we all slaves to the same system when we go on social media? Like, I'm just being real here, and I hear you, Dwight, on the like using it for research, because that's all I do. Like, as an entrepreneur, like I have different folders that I have. Okay, this is dance ideas, this is video ideas, this is travel ideas, this is boom, 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 and I got it all laid out. Then what I also do is that I find it important to also elevate the people that I'm around, but also give them access to the same information that I'm looking at. So with my stories, Michael knows this as well. Like, I'll be posting up sometimes random information. It may not be relevant. It may just be a funny video or whatever. But sometimes it's off of wealth or insider business or anything like that, or some motivational video that really gives an eye-opening, thought or a conversation, or provokes some type of meaning, or gives some type of history, to your point about history being lost, right? It's like, well, did you guys know about this? Or even if it's not past history, maybe it's current history, in the fact that, well, BRICS the other day just got established. It got 52 new members. That's something that we should be learning about, right? They're not teaching that anymore in Florida where you was at, but they're going to be teaching that everywhere else. So you feel what I'm saying? Like, just even for that, just having that access, and even if it's not other people doing it for themselves, but you kind of doing it for them inadvertently by way of, you see me putting it up on my story. So forcing them kind of be like, oh, what did Larry post today? Oh, okay. Oh, this is interesting. I never would have thought to look at this, but I guess that's what was on this timeline, and they kind of get that glimpse, and it kind of starts promoting it. And even if they're not branching out, you're at least doing your part. And that's how I feel when I'm like kind of looking at that and then sharing the videos that I got, because I'm just trying to elevate the people that I know is going to take that information and do something with it, so.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly and truly, I just don't think really maximize all the capabilities of social media, man. Like, there's a feature on Instagram that I love. It's called Guides, right? And so, legit, there is a studio here in Atlanta called the HBUC, the Historically Black Creatives. And so, what they do is that they have like their Muse magazine. So they have created a whole layout for each magazine, and they use the guides in order to promote it. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, this is like a digital magazine in real time, because literally you could just use posts or like different locations and things of that nature. But I'm thinking to myself, yo, like, you can actually create different ways and different things that you found over time, and then you can just, all right, cool, hey, check out my guide on how to take better photos, how to light an image, So it's little things like that that'll make you think, wait a second, what are the ways I can really take this to another level outside just real? Let me post the dance, let me post a scroll post and whatnot. So I just think that if we really looked at all the it has to offer, at least on the platforms, I think that that would be one of the things that lets us think bigger about that you mentioned monetization, because there's an app called Fanbase that's created here in Atlanta by Isaac Hayes III. And so the whole point of the platform is to make sure that anybody can monetize their content. So then now the playing field is level. And it's been an interesting journey kind of watching the platform develop and get more recognition and whatnot. Because when you think about it, it's sort of like Patreon, but like you have like the option to see someone that has subscribe content and then someone that has free content. So it literally creates a whole experience for you to be able to have subscribe from or don't subscribe to and whatnot. But then you can still see things that only you want to see. And then there is a thing called shadow banning on fan base as well. Like you'll see everybody's stuff that you follow. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny that you mentioned monetization. I think, like you said, everybody wants to make money off of their posts. But like if your posts don't provide any type of value and you're just posting just to post, then nobody's gonna pay attention to that. Like what are you giving to people? What are you challenging them on? What is it that you're saying to people? Like I told I think early this year or last year that I felt like I need to be in front of the camera more. Yes, I perform poetry and whatnot, but I was taking it a step further. So um, now it's like any idea that I get to just and then edit and shoot everything, cool. I'm dropping it. It doesn't matter like what people think. It doesn't matter like how they feel. Um, though the internet may say one thing, my degree says another. And you know what I'm saying? I study art like it's nobody's business. This is visual art, this is dance, this is film, writing, you know what I'm saying? Any style that you could think of, I probably looked into it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always open to learning about other art forms that I don't know about, you know what I'm saying? Especially like the bridge between art and technology. That's heavy. That's heavy. People aren't really leaning into VR as much as they did during the pandemic. I do think that a project that I'm working on VR, it I think it's gonna spark some interest. I'm not gonna speak too much on it, but it comments on the very idea of social media, and we're gonna hear from influencers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to sharing that project with the world. It's still in the works. I have to talk to a few people and get everything, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's gonna be a great project.
Is this the hint? Is this the hint at what you was announcing last night?
Nah, this ain't the hint. The hint. Nah, that's not the hint. The hint is a little heavier. But it is related to me going back to school. Now, for what you gotta wait and find out.
Let's make it happen. Awesome.
So yeah, man.
Like we said, whenever any promotion, just see why y'all working as like a open door invitation. They're talking about what you enjoy, why you working, and I mean, you said a lot right there that we can appreciate and unpack. Just like art and technology, like we're seeing this now more than ever. You can, I mean, it started with those what was it like the Russian website where you posted a picture and it would have 7 different versions of it. Now people are using it for LinkedIn headshots. I'm seeing people, like post videos, like maybe they're dancing or moving around, and there's a website that's just putting it through a generative AI kind of engine in order for it to be, Thor or Morgan Freeman. I saw that one. That was tough, and it's still art. I mean, let's talk about that. The intersection of art and technology. Where do you feel like this will disenfranchise artists? Because we did see, I think Britannica suing ChatGPT, Dolly, OpenAI for bringing in, millions of people's work unpaid. But artists are using it to expand on their ideas, their perception of what the world could be. Is it a fine line? Is it pretty clear? How do you not offend, but how do you optimize, the artist experience in this art plus tech world?
Well, it's funny because I think it's sometime last year. Age of the Writer is coming soon. I had no clue what was going to happen in the future, but like just seeing how like watch, rinse, repeat that social media was just leaning into, I was thinking to myself, we're gonna have to be a little bit more original very soon. And this need to be original is gonna be the thing that challenges, like, all right, well, cool. If I make something and the act of me making it, is it okay if I do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I harming? Who am I like disenfranchising if I do it? Am I not disenfranchised? Am I just in my own work, minding my own business? So I think that it's a slightly blurry line. And the reason why I say is because there are artists like myself that use AI and all these other generative tools in order to like speed up my workflow, as well as like experiment how something would come out if I were to execute it in the real world, in the sense of creating a visual mock-up. And then there are people that are creating their own universe with AI and with technology in general. I cannot think of his name, but there is an artist, and he's an AI artist, and he creates like hyper fantastical slash unrealistic imagery and experiences using AI. Like there is, I think, one where he generated like building, and people are loving it. You know what I'm saying? To the point where they're like, "Are you selling prints to this?" Prime example of somebody that is, they have to go through multiple generations of the prompt in order to get to that specific goal, and then now they're able to monitor something that, though they technically did not create it, it was through trial and error of making sure that you're as specific as possible when you're feeding the prompt, so then that way you can have the result that you want. And that's the mark that a lot of people miss when it comes to the blurred line of like authentic art, AI generated art, is that AI is a big, intelligent baby. So whatever you tell it, it's going to spit it back out. But the more specific you are, and the more that you dial into your descriptions within that prompt and whatnot, you're able to get a very, very specific result that technically will be hard to replicate unless somebody can think exactly like you. Like there's a she coined a term called intertech. And crazy enough, when she coined that term, like the whole world started watching. And when I say the whole world, I mean like even the US. They said, you're an expert in all things AI. We want to have you speak to everybody about the developments and things of that nature. And as she's telling people about intertech and whatnot, you can look her up on, I think, most platforms. It's, her ad is Gen Z, and her name is Sierra. And so legit, she wild enough clone.
What?
And she
She created an AI mind.
Hold on.
Thoughts, like she downloaded her thoughts to a computer.
Shit, this is deep, man. Yes, this is deep, man. This is deep.
Hey, Dwight, you better chill. They gonna start listening. Them people gonna start listening.
I'm telling, man, there's no cap in my rap, man. There's no cap in my rap, man. I promise you. So Sierra, she was like, well, what if I clone myself using AI? And basically, she's creating an AI version of herself, personal assistant. So essentially, whatever responses to that she would have, and then whatever questions that somebody may have, she's essentially created a mini version of herself online, so that way, like, if she's not available, so
That's
when
wild.
I tell you, she announced that online, I said, nah, you're tripping. But that's that. It's like, that's smart, but that's also dangerous. But I also see why that's necessary. But then that's still wild. It's crazy, man. I gotta send that to y'all. But that's a prime example of somebody that's really taking AI to the max, to the point where she.
Like, that's crazy. Oh.
It's crazy, you know. And she's even creating her own AI agency, you know, like because of the fact that she's been in the entertainment industry for so long, and because now like that's her niche, that's her field. Like everybody asks for her expertise because of how viral she's gone on TikTok and on Instagram and other platforms. Don't know how to use AI, but she's experimenting with AI every other day. Every other day she's finding new tools. Every other day she's finding new engines and things of that nature to experiment with. And when I say it's mind blowing, something myself, you're committed to this. She's yeah, yeah. Because a side note, she was talking about saying how the film industry is striking, but the company's trying to use AI. And I was like, okay, all these companies AI. If the music industry goes on strike, what will that look like? How are you going to go on strike for something that everybody needs? Strike for something where like artists got to monetize off platforms. They got to use these digital streaming platforms in order to make sure that they can get their music out there. Um, if the music industry were to strike, what would that even look like? Is that even possible? I don't know. So we were talking about a little bit ago when we were kind of like discoursing about the strike that's happening with the Writers Guild as well as the act. So it's heavy, man. AI is dangerous, but it's very very interesting. And that line is blurry, like I said. Do highly suggest anybody that's in the art field or even that's just in a general field, whether it be like um, I don't know. Everybody should at least try AI. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't master it, still give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know how it can automate your systems for as a small business or even as a solopreneur. Because it's a lot of work being a solopreneur.
Mm-hmm.
If you can lighten your load with AI, then do that humanely, and that's all in regard to that.
And tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, I think it's V3, V4, definitely tools that you can get started on now. Very lightweight. It is not hard. It is not, scanning your face into some system. It's really just logging in. I know, right? You're like, huh?
Question.
Yeah. For real. But yeah, Larry, if you have any, we'd love to hear your thoughts about the writer's strike. And I've heard some information about it just to keep people informed, but
I
it's
mean,
a mess.
it's business, bro. At the end of the day, the main reason, and Dwight brought up a interesting situation slash point, I guess you could say, is like, can the music industry, can creatives go on strike? Not really, right? You have to look at how many actually independent institutions and organizations that are actually out there. Not many. Okay, you have three major record labels that own it all, and the rest is up for the grabs. So when you look at that, it's the same way in the film industry as well, right? You have major film, the major big three, Warner, all of them, Apple now, Amazon, and the rest is coming in, Disney, right? They own all the studios and they own all the work. They are creating all the work for all the other independent studios to do. So when you think about that, again, who are they striking against? The same people that's giving them the food. That's stupid, in my opinion. They guess what they just said. I read it on the timeline the other day. They were saying how they're just going to continue to ride this out because eventually the writers and everybody else will realize they're gonna need to eat soon. So they're willing. The big behemoths are. We're gonna take that $1 billion hit because at the end of the day, when y'all get back to work, we're gonna make it back and some, and y'all gonna be right back where y'all was starting. So again, I hear y'all on this got to change, but again, at the end of the day, there's a lot of system and infrastructural things that need to happen. And again, when you have to be a part of the system in order to change the system, it doesn't work like that. You got to come in from the outside and fuck some shit up. Excuse my French, since we're going there, to make some things change, right? In order for that to happen, in order for us to actually be able to strike, to have a union and all that. And I mean, they do have a union, but at the same time, the union has no power because it doesn't have a studio where it's producing content for them to control, own, monetize, et cetera, et cetera. Now we can go on. I see some things that are happening, but again, when we're talking about Tyler Perry, for example, Tyler Perry even said for himself on a lot of his interviews, like they weren't trying to let him in. They weren't trying to let him into the same spaces to get the same contract. So he had to build his own studio. And even when he built his own studio, the financiers were not trying to give him the same amount of financing that they give all these regular studios all this fucking time to do. You have to build. It's the same thing. Just like an entrepreneur, you have to go out, raise money, get all these stocks and bonds, put that on the film, creatively finance all their life. I found this out by just dealing with music, IP, and royalties. Boom, music is in everything. When you look at that, gaming is also involved. So you want to talk about that? Can editors and all those gaming people go on strike? Hell no, because there's not a lot of independent film gaming studios out there. So, and even then, you hear them going like, we're not going to work for a while, but guess what? They get right back to work a couple months later because money ran out. So they draw attention to all these things for a short amount of time, but nothing actually changes because in the grand scheme of things, leadership hasn't changed. Money is still running this world. And as a result of that, it's kind of like, well, damn, like, how do we make a difference when the main thing that we need to make things change is the same thing that keeps everything in place at the end of the day, right? So
It's hard.
it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, truly, I think I dialed in, man. I think I heard y'all talking about the gathering spot. And to be real, right? I'm not gonna get into the politics and all the yeah, I'm not gonna get in that. But the idea of the gathering spot is so genius. And it's so genius to the point where, like, if there was a version of gathering spot for artists and like just like young startup businesses alike, all coming together, all creating one another, and then there are hubs all across the, I promise you, none of these studios will have access to any of the talent, any of the content that's being created, because now everybody is working together in order to get the means that they need. Now, all of the people that were working on the projects can now do their own projects, and they don't need any of the IP or the rights to anything or whatnot, because now they can all work together in order to create their own original content, and then they can all own and monetize from it. So then now it's like, oh wait, cool. This things are being dismantled now. I love the idea of the gathering spot so much because of that, right? Like, started in the heart of Atlanta, and then built all these hubs. You know what I'm saying? Like, really grasp efforts to the point where, like, you got LeBron coming to Atlanta for his birthday. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 Chainz having something there. You got all these different moguls and stars coming to this little hole in the wall spot in I think it's called Pittsburgh Yard, something like that, in Atlanta, right downtown, you know what I'm saying, by Georgia Tech, coming to this little hole in the wall spot. Of the community that's been built, and because of the infrastructure that's been built over time by TK and Ryan. So I'm telling you, if there's like that for artists to be able to do that, it's gonna be a problem, because now it's no longer of, oh, maybe the studio, oh, maybe we can do this. Nah, like, we have access to a studio, we have access to our own platforms, we have access to all these other entities, and we can all do it in our own. Actually, let's buy out a couple of movie theaters. Let's do that too. You know what I'm saying? We'll stop going to all the movie theaters, because I mean they're anyway. Let's make our own. There's all this open land in all these different places. Let's make our own, and then actually let's monetize theaters too. Let's partner with all these other big companies, so that way we tell them, hey, look, you can't serve that here unless you got your licenses. You can't serve that here because you got to pay X amount in order to have that here. So then what you going to do? You can't do anything at that point, because now you got to play hardball with people that's been playing hardball this whole time. Right? So again, man, if there was something like that for artists, the world will look very different, and a lot of the things that we're seeing will look very different, right? Like, a lot of people are trying to have space and trying to be, like, again, solo. But if you get in cahoots with multiple people and you're building with multiple people, and now the circumstances are different. Now you can be able to have a studio in Atlanta, in Miami, in all these small towns. Because, to be honest, a lot of the talent that's being missed out on is in these rural areas. It's not particularly in the cities, because when I spent a week in Clarksdale and Sumner, Mississippi, I'm working with young adults that are a little bit younger than me to teach them about, to show them, hey, look, like I'm not that much older than y'all, and like I'm making more than minimum wage doing this art stuff. But that's because I learned the business side of it and my skills match my business. So then now, as I'm getting better and better over time, I'm showing them, hey, look, you can do this stuff too. There's no reason why you need to be going to the local Sonic or the local churches or local Subway. You need to get out of this small town, get the skills that you need, return if you want to tell the stories of this small town that most people. But more importantly, like, make sure that you're getting more experiences being outside of here. Because I know for me, exposure changed my life. To be exposed to different cultures, to be exposed to different experiences. Like, I'm going to Martha's Vineyard for the first time in like 7 days.
Oh.
And when I tell you, like, I was told that August is 31 Saturday Martha's Vineyard. And I'm looking forward to every single day that I'm there because of the fact that, one, I've never been. Two, I get to show this experience of me being there to be like, yo, y'all need to come out here. Y'all need to see what it's like. Not a lot of people that come from Jacksonville, you know what I'm saying, let alone rural Jacksonville, can be in like Martha's Vineyard, can go to LA, can go to New York and things of that nature, and then come back and tell the story. Because that's the thing a lot of people don't do. They don't come back. Even though that I'm not home often, any opportunity that I get to talk to young creatives, whether they be in high school, middle school, and whatnot, or even in college, I'm gonna take the opportunity. Yes, 100,000. Yes, I'll do that because I know what that opportunity did for me. So it's literally, it's in my personal oath to pay it forward, and as well as to pay it back. I would be a fool if I.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I definitely get that. That's why on the 22nd, that's why me and my co-founder are going back to our university at UMBC to really spread the word about how hard it is to raise this venture capital for Black entrepreneurs, and they're gonna get a rude awakening because we're gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm telling you, because it's like I can't do the disservice to other people, especially those who look like me, and go up there and be hunky dory and be like, yo, like, it's sweet outside, like, yeah, come join me over here, and then they get out here and it's not sweet, like I could never do that to young people who are coming up in this world, who were like myself. And I thought, like, look, I had all these goals for myself. I was like, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna hit here, I'm gonna hit here, I'm gonna hit these million, hit da, 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 da. And when reality humbles you after a while, when the world is like, nobody gives a fuck about what you're doing or what anybody else is doing, just try to make it work, and that's kind of really what you do. Your parents do the best for you as much as they can, but you didn't ask to be here, and you are here now, so you have to fuck around and find out. Most people ain't trying to do that. And
Man.
I'm just trying to, educate, just like you, give back. And that's really what it is. Like, I'm trying to tell you, if you're trying to really be out here, really trying to do the damn thing, cool. I'm going to help you figure it out. If you're not, you trying to go the corporate route, you trying to do all that, I'm going to say, have a good life. The security is there for you until you ain't got a job no more because I put your job out of business. Sorry. You got a job with me, buddy. Like, come on. Like, I'm really trying to let these people know that the reality is something that is able to be changed if they put their mind to it. And I think that that's really what it comes down to. Like, to your point, like, going back home is showing them, like, I put my mind to this and I made it happen, so you can make it happen as well. And if you need the help, reach out, right? If that's available, right? Because sometimes we understand not everybody trying to help out. You ain't got the time. You're in the middle of your grind time, but you made the time. The point is, you made the time to stop. So anybody that comes up to you to talk to you while you're there will get your time and attention. And that's the whole point of it. It's like, even if you miss out and you happen to hit me up, slide me an email later, you're still going to get the attention because you reached out. You did the first step, right? Because I did that for myself to somebody else, so that way I could get to where I'm at. Same for you, same for Michael. So that's really what it is all about. Like, while we're working, we're trying to help other people get to where we are and be better. I mean, not necessarily be better, but be better than where they're at. You ain't gonna be better than me because I'm light years ahead. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna help y'all. I'm gonna help y'all out. I'm gonna help everybody I care about. But we just got to make sure that we're good, so we can make sure everybody else is good. And once you're stable, boom, you could do the same. So that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. One of the main reasons why like I'm always studying and I'm always trying to learn as much as I can because man, once you've lost inspiration, once you've lost that passion to learn something new, it's hard to get it back. It really is. And I see why some of my OGs they keep bugging me like, man, go back to school, go back to school, go back to school. I'm like, all right, I got it, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Most because I know that they've been on the other side of this. They know how it feels to be like, damn, I don't feel like going to school no more. I'm good. Whole time, like you, time is gonna pass. One of my OGs told me that time is going to pass regardless. So the least you can do is just get a degree. Even if you take your time with it, at least you got it. Time like you just want to. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go to work, do what I got to do, win these awards. Like you can be able to get a lot of your research and a lot of your projects funded by these institutions because of the fact that you're tied to them. Like you, I always tell any like prospective college student, whether you're going for undergrad or your master's, you gotta treat your degree as if it's a two-way street. It is always a two-way street. Like, nah, I'm just going to get my degree, go to class, you know what I'm saying, go to work, and then no, like if you don't go and figure out how you can study abroad for free, if you don't go and figure out how you can get your passport for the low, if you don't go and figure out how you get all these different opportunities that are available to you because you're on this college campus, what? You ain't paying like 20, 40, 50, 60 $1,000 a year for nothing. It makes no sense. Why would you just willingly give your money away? The fact that you don't feel like doing it. What? Meanwhile,
No.
they're giving away all this free money and all these free opportunities, but you don't want to just fill out a little resume, fill out your application, write a little essay. You got ChatGPT anyway. You're going to use it anyway. You got all these resources right for you. Just use them. Agile, have ChatGPT make you an outline, and then from that outline, you all right. Let me write it, and then have the ChatGPT edit it, and then boom, you got your essay. You rinse and repeat that, bro. You can apply to like 30 grams in like a week. Honestly, in like 3 days, if you play your cards right, and if you do what you do in order to maximize these opportunities, I'm telling you, there is what is it? I think there's over like $14 billion, something like that, that goes unused when it comes to educational auxiliary funding. It's laying around because nobody's applying for it. So when you see this irrelevant building or like some unnecessary structure being, or like some unnecessary like person being brought to the school, it's because you didn't apply for it. It's you didn't ask for the money. So of course they're gonna be like, well, maybe this is what the students want, and then now they bring in somebody that's not even connected to the culture, not even connected to the students, because you didn't do your due diligence to be involved and to be an active student. Like, be for real. You gonna let somebody else play with your money like that?
Yeah,
That's
UMBC happened to us too because like our black population at UMBC, at least while I was first there, started like I got out of school 2019, 2020, so I started in 2015. Our our black population wasn't necessarily there. Like it was non-existent, and because of that, like our student events board, when they were putting on like our yearly concerts and stuff like that, they always used to bring some whack ass people.
Bro, they had Kesha. They had
Like,
Kesha
Kesha one
in
of the years, bro.
2018.
Kesha.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. The Kesha concert was kind of lit, but 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 it was a little wild because we was like, yo, like, where's the representation? This is who we want. Da 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 da. And it got better, right? We ended up getting 21 Savage and T-Pain, and you know they did
They had the
okay,
baby.
right? They
The baby came
tried. The
through.
baby came through. You know, they tried. They was really trying, but at the same time, to your point, like people don't really understand that the money that they are paying for school, and it's again, remember, a lot of them it's not them directly because the motherfuckers who are really taking out these Pell grants and all the Stafford loans, know what the hell they're doing, right? And they're trying to make the most of their situation. So I understand, and they're the ones getting the help. They actually have the resources, right? Because in most cases, if you get Pell Grant, you got a financial advisor that checks in with you regularly, all that other stuff. Now, the ones that we're talking about, right, are the middle class to the, you just got out of the lower class, situation, or you at the high class situation, and you get put back right where you were, or right where your parents once were, where they built you out of as a result of your negligence and not understanding that, oh shit, this is not, while it may not be my money that is going to the school, this is my parents' money, and I may be or may not be wasting it based on what I'm trying to do. Now, granted, a lot of them have the mindset of, well, even if my parents are paying for this, I'm here, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to do the most that I can because that's what people tell me. But again, to Dwight's point, it's like, well, now you're wasting that money, because if all you're doing is going out, partying, having fun, and not really paying attention to your studies, or at least making the connections, right? Because your friends could all be the next leaders of America, but if you the big bum that sits there and not doing anything, chances are while they may give you a helping hand once, it's not going to be the biggest helping hand in the world that you're going to need to catapult you into that next status of life, right? So when it comes down to that, it's breaking down the understanding of, okay, hey guys, like, I guess Rabowski made it a point to be like, look, these are your parents' dollars that is being used here. Make sure you are getting something out of this education that we have. But I'm not sure how many college presidents are actually saying that to their students, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're going to PWIs, because UMBC is a PWI. But again, we've been lucky enough and blessed that we've had Black leaders, right? We've had Rabowski, we have this lady now from Duke. So I'm looking forward to more good things. And if UMBC ever goes outside of Black hands, it is no longer an honorary HBCU. I'm just letting everybody know that.
Wait, hold on, Larry. If you said if UMBC gets out of his Black hands, you're gonna put Black hands on him?
No, I did not say that. I'm just letting people know I don't trust my university no more, and it has been relinquished back to the PWI situation. Okay, so just letting people know. But yeah, students just need to understand where the money is coming from and how it's being spent. And once they get to internalize, once you feel that like money coming out of your own, like once you internalize it, that it's my money, like I can use this however I want. Because again, if you have the power to tell the person that is paying your tuition, you can't see my report card, bro, that is your bread. I'm just saying. So figure that out, because again, a lot of parents get shell shocked when they're like, well, if I'm paying for this, how come I don't have access to the degree? At the end of the day, they're an adult. So the decision is theirs, right? That's their privacy. They don't need to tell you anything. That's what a lot of parents don't understand. But then again, the flip side, a lot of students don't understand that when you get in trouble, when you're failing your semester, your parents can't come help you out. Your peers are oftentimes the ones that are right there with you in the trenches that can help you out. But again, if you're not doing the work, if you're not doing the grind, if you're not all there studying together at the library all hours in the morning, who's really going to be there to help you other than yourself? Which is why you should be taking up ChatGPT just in case you ain't got no friends to help you or something else, and really understand that, hey, maybe I should be at these office hours or looking at where the tutors is at because this is happening. Or if worst comes to worst, you need to drop a class, buddy. It's better than that 0. It's better than that F. So,
bro, it took me 6 years to get my undergraduate degree in economics. 6 years to get a BA in economics. We're talking to people who, and this is a real story. Like, we're talking to high school students, potential students who, are on the cusp, are considering going to college. Because there are people who are saying, I'm not going to go to college, and they have a great reason. There's people who are going to college, and we're speaking to y'all too. Take this seriously. Don't just use your parents' money. But for the people who are seeing the YouTube videos, the Instagram comments about, the inflation of education, the rise of the prices, like, don't allow that to deter you away from making experiences and connections that can change your life. For the entrepreneurs that are here, like, I highly encourage you, entrepreneurs who are in college, this is one of the best times to start a company. Even while you're doing classes, you're struggling, meet, for all of y'all, the Vice President of Institutional Advancement. That is a role in every single college. No one talks about it. It's not on Instagram. The Vice Principal of Institutional Advancement can be the make or break in your college startup. Oh, you're on mute, Valeria. Oh, no, you saw me.
Okay, I was like, they got access to all the donors, all the funds, all the alumni. They're the people that go out with the presidents of your schools to raise that money.
Mm-hmm. I was told this, like when we were creating an idea, and that's another thing too. Like it's great, if you're at college and if you're at a huge college and you notice like, hey, people need better access to water or snacks, do that. Because now you're servicing 50,000 people. That's your total addressable market. But if you're at a school like UMBC that has 10,000 and you have this outlandish idea, pursue it. Because what my vice principal of institution advancement taught me is that pursue this idea, go hard, because I can use this to justify getting more donors, getting more funding from the state, getting more funding federally. Like I can really put you on a pedestal if you have that crazy idea and you just believe it enough to button it up and present it to some of those people. Like just do it. Like you'll be surprised, man. Like this is a real opportunity that you'll find something you've never seen. You'll see friends you've never met before. And that potential should be worth taking that risk. Don't just look at a pamphlet or look at some Reddit forums and then make that decision on your future. Like think about it and really try. If you're on the fence, I would suggest spending that year, and then seeing how you can evolve yourself and evolve around the people around you. Go to college.
Facts, 100%. So it's funny, right? I'm gonna figure out how I can tie all this together. I have no clue yet. But when I was younger, I actually heard Dr. Freeman Rabowski speak in Jacksonville, and I remember it vividly. I was at the time working with the city of Jacksonville under one of their programs, and when he came to speak, I was like, "Yo, like." I've never seen someone like this be over at college, you know what I'm saying, especially at PWI. And you know what I'm saying, I think I tried to reach out to him once and whatnot. I thought I got through, but he was busy, of course. But like I said to say, Florida State was my last option. I did not want to go to Florida State because I'm like, it's too close to home. I'm trying to get as far as I possibly can, right? And funny enough, like the CARE program at Florida State University, first generation students, and literally when I tell you changed my life, Dr. Brandon Bowden, changed my life. Dr. Nelson McCoy changed my life. Dr. Tadero Stark changed my life. Mr. Wesley Dorsey, all the black staff at Florida State University that I was able to be in touch with, being around literally changed my life. Because one, like they saw how enterprising I was and whatnot. Any opportunity that I told them about that I was interested in, they always helped me with it. Whether it's like, hey, I need a little help with like reading over this, what do you think if I get this person to help me, write my letter of recommendation, things of that nature. And then from there, when I tell you, that's the reason why I was able to maximize my experience at Florida State University. And that's why, like, I can't speak for anybody else, but I went to school for free. No loans, not one in sight. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Literally, like, what came into Florida State, and I didn't start the program. It was because someone dropped out. And then Dr. McCoy to Dr. Stark, and he said, hey, I got somebody for you. And they're from Jacksonville, because Dr. Stark, he's from Jacksonville as well. And now he's at UConn. And so he's like, perfect, let's get him in. But from there, I was like running everything up. Whenever it came to fellowship opportunities, that's me. Oh, I'm trying to go abroad. Bet. This is the program you need to apply for. Got it. Oh, time overseas? Yeah, I need that. Cool. Got it. Spent 3 months in India. Well, I tell you, my people did not want me to go to India because of like all the stereotypes and all the stigmas. I was like, nah, I gotta go. I gotta go to show y'all. Because if I'm under the state that y'all are in, how will I ever show y'all what's over there? So yes, I went over there, and I absolutely enjoyed myself. In contact with a lot of people that I met over there, you know what I'm saying? But again, like the importance of exposure, the importance of taking risks is so essential in college. Like owing so much money, but by talking to the right people and by being connected to the right people, your leg can go from 20,000 owed to zero. every single time. If you put in the work and if you do what you need to do in order to make sure that you have to like work harder than you necessarily have to. Like there are people that are gonna be in your corner, but if you don't stay in touch, if you don't do the work, if you don't do what you need to do, then of course people will be reluctant to support you because you ain't got no collateral. You know what I'm saying? That's don't know. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no if you ain't got no collateral, people ain't gonna want to talk to you, man. What you got to give? What can you put up on the table? Offer. That's gonna be the thing that separates you from most people. And I'm so happy that I was around people that had business while they were in college. You know, clothing brands, people that did photography, videography, people that made films, people that were writers. I was around entrepreneurs that were out here trying to get it because of the fact that, like, yeah, you can get a refund, but like, there's more than a refund. Actually, let's figure out, you know what I'm saying, more opportunities. And funny enough, like right before I graduated from Florida State, they opened up a college of entrepreneurship. I was like, okay, it's that time. You know what I mean? So literally, like when you maximize your opportunity in college and then you keep going that energy and you keep striving for that, the world is yours. The world is yours, man. And literally, you never say if you don't ask. Closed mouths truly do not get fed, man. They don't. I am a big believer in at least trying. If I tried, the most that you can tell me is no. So that means I gotta find somebody else that's gonna tell me yes.
Yeah, you
easy
until you find one. I'm telling you.
So let's
real talk.
Thank you, Dwight. We definitely want to keep you on as long as you're free, available. I just really want to tie it in again because you didn't even talk about how you was in France, out there with the people. Do I say right, Can? Yeah. How do I say this correctly?
Some people say Can, some people say Con. It just depends on who you are, bro. I'm pretty sure it's Con though.
Yeah.
But so funny enough that you mentioned that. So again, like maintaining relationships in college. So I was an anomaly, right? I was like one, like out of a group of I think 5 to 8 students from Florida State that got a scholarship for entrepreneurship from UNCF. Nobody could figure out how. I was like, United Eagle College Fund. I thought they only work with HBC. Right. I thought they only work with HBCUs. What? Ain't no way. Funny enough, there was this scholarship called the Koch Foundation Scholarship, right? Charles Koch. I know his background, but let me cook. So he gave away a scholarship for students in college, 2-year or 4-year. And then like you had to renew it like I think every semester. And then they flew you out locations and stuff like that to be at a conference summit and things of that nature so you can learn about entrepreneurship, learn from leaders and things of that nature. And legit, every single time I'm dialing in with everybody. Hey, how do you know this person? Hey, let me figure out how I can get in this thing. I'm dialing in on everybody because I'm telling them, I'm letting them know, hey, look, I want it all. I want everything. Give it. Yeah. Go ahead and give me that. Yes. No, I don't. No, I don't want to just hang out. I'm trying to figure out how I can keep getting paid from the people. That was my goal. Where's the next one? Actually, I need that. So, the program, one of the people that was part of the program in terms of like managing it, I kept in touch with him because he was over the internship program. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna apply for this internship. I'm gonna be in DC for a set amount of time, you know what I'm saying, during the summer. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Still kept in touch with him. And the year before, he had went to Cannes, and it was when Spike Lee was the main juror. And when I tell you, I was so jealous and heartbroken. I say, yo, you went to a white film festival and somebody black was jurying over it? What? Oh no. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I gotta do, but I gotta go. Funny enough, he said, hey, if you free, All you got to do is get there. All you got to do is get to Nice, and you're good. I was like, bet. The rest is history, bro. Like,
That's all?
when
Bro.
I tell you, the rest is history, bro. I literally, I had two options, dog, and that's why it's so important to have faith in yourself and faith in your ability. I had two options. I was like, I can miss out on this one, and you know what I'm saying, but then I miss out on the experience, or I could drain my bank account and have an experience that's gonna change my. You saw which opportunity I chose.
LOL, I'm
So
right there
legit, man. Like I think I had like a 24-hour flight or some crazy junk like that. Even though
Layover was
it only
crazy.
layovers were insane. I hated it so much, but I was like, nah, I gotta have this experience. I don't know too many people that's like me, that look like me, that could say, yeah, I went all the way from America to go to Cannes, and I got taken care of the entire time. Legit, when I tell you, a lifetime,
Wow.
I would not trade that moment for anything. Like, hold up, let me see if I got my silky with me. Hold up. So at the film festival, they got these little silkies, right? And they got it on their festival de Cannes. They got it on there, right?
Oh,
So
that's tough.
So I bought three. I bought one. Actually, no. I bought two for me. One that I keep on myself at all times, and one that I keep home. One for my lady, and then one for my mom. And the reason why I bought four is because I wanted to remind myself that one, I gotta get back, and the only way I'm going back is if they tell me that my films is being premiered at Cannes. That's the only way I'm going back. That is the only way. That's the only option, because that trip taught me that there's always somebody in my corner, even if I don't know them, even if I never met them, even if I never seen them before in my life. There's somebody in my corner. And legit, like as I'm networking, talking to people, things of that nature and whatnot, it was so refreshing because I'm thinking to myself like, yo, I could have missed out on this. I could have been like, nah, I'm good, I'm fine. I could have missed out on this, but I'm so glad I took advantage of it. I'm so glad because now I have somewhere that I can look forward to and that I can like build a foundation toward. So now I can pay it forward. Because now one day, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I want to be able to pay for like 10 black filmmakers to go to Cannes for the entire time. I'm not talking about, I'm talking from the opening ceremony until the closing ceremony. And I want them to have the full experience of being able to be at this, to see all these different conversations, to be able to see all these different films, to be able to network with all these different people in the film space. I want them to be able to have the same experience that I had because of the fact that my former supervisor / big bro said that I was worthy and that I was able to have experience too. It's so important for us to be able to go to these film festivals, not just stateside, but international, because now it makes you think how you can communicate with people on a global scale and how you can be able to communicate the work that you're doing on a global scale and understand that it's a tool and it's a singular space. But when you go to France, when you go to all these other different places, this I wouldn't trade it for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Wow. And so for reference, one, how would you describe Cannes to, a regular, average person who goes to the movies maybe 3-4 times a year? And how long is the program?
Man, Cannes is like a week and some change. Average person, I would say, it's basically like the Super Bowl for filmmaking. It is real deal the Super Bowl because you got some of the top films from all around the world that are all screened in this small town of Cannes that's in Nice, you know what I'm saying? So legit, like it's the type of experience where there was this, I forget the name of it, but there was this film that I saw, and I think it was like an hour and a half or like 2 hours. And the journey of the kids was them trying to find like this egg for their mom to like make a pie so that way their mom can feel better. So literally, these kids are bad as hell. They are just rambunctious, going through everything, but they're like, we gotta find this very particular blue egg in order to make sure we can make this thing for our mom. And so they literally are risking just to have this moment, just to make sure that she feels better. I'm thinking to myself like, yo, if that ain't a metaphor for life,
Mm.
for being tenacious and being relentless and being aggressive at accomplishing your goals, I don't know what is. So I have a ticket to that particular show in my room. I put it on the wall and I scratched out the name of the movie, put my name as the director. So then that way, like, when that time come, I'm gonna be like, I warned y'all, this was coming. It was on the way, but I had to be there to have that experience of being like, yeah, I paid like $8 to go and see this movie. Yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? And legit, after the movie, the entire audience was clapping for at least 30 straight, 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 non-stop.
Some movies deserve that. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Probably like, evokes a lot of emotion out of the person too. Just, yeah. And then what? Like, so does the director come out immediately after as well as the staff, or we're talking like, a discussion? Is it just immediately to networking and yeah, drinking
Is the
fancy
director,
sherries?
the director and the actors as well, or just the director and the producer?
So it depends on in that particular film, like the actors and the director was there and whatnot. There wasn't a talk back, unfortunately, but people were kind of like chatting about it, like right outside of the venue and things of that nature. And funny enough, like when you go to con, legit, everything is along a strip, and it's kind of like Rodeo Drive, Sunset Boulevard type vibe. Um, and what you got all of the fancy high end stores like all along that strip, and then when I tell you like late night bar stuff, and it's a vibe. It's real deal of vibe, man. Like I took this one video of like being at the beach, and I'm just thinking to myself like, yo, this the pinnacle.
Mm.
This is the pinnacle. Like I was able to get tickets. The weekend was premiering his HBO joint and whatnot. Like he was on the red carpet. I think to myself like, bro, I am not that far from this man. If I had credentials, I could just walk up on him and be like, hey, what's popping? What's good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But legit, it's crazy how close to the top that you feel when you're at a festival like Con. And how like a lot of the people they're staying like on the beach at a lot of these expensive hotels. And like you have to book that hotel, I think at least 8 months in advance
I
to
think you have to
even
book
get
it
there.
from the last con to the first. You know what I mean? To the next one. If you want the
Real
best seats.
life, real life, man. Like you have to because of the fact that it'll be like
No facts.
and then sometimes and people stay for again like a week and some change.
Mm.
But
Cooling.
think about that. Think about that though. Like it's like, how did they get the bread to stay to 2 weeks? Is it forget them being there? How you got the bread? Is either you the master filmmaker extraordinaire, you got the big film studio, or you made your money some else way, and now you here just chilling, watching the videos just because you think it's cool. And also for you, like saying that you're one step away from, you know, the greatness that is, right? But really, you're one step away from your own greatness, because the way that I look at it is that when you get into these spaces that is really a space that you've never been a part of before, even me and Michael, when we go into the Baltimore Angel meetings and we hear these conversations, people talking big money, we're like, oh, okay, so we're here now. But if there's this and we didn't know about this, what else is there more that we don't know about, right? And all it took was, to your point, an ask. Hey, can we be involved? Hey, can we do this? Hey, can we say, hey, what's good? Like, can we sit in? And that's when you start to learn. That's when you start to do all these things. So when I hear you say that, I'm like, yo, like this reminds me of when me and my co-founder went to England in 2020 and just spent bread. Like I came back 6K in debt for all that shit. And I almost died on that trip too. COVID, all that. So
Damn.
I'm like, bro, like people don't know the work that we put in for our dreams and be like, yo, like this, it ain't sweet, it ain't easy. But again, it brought me to that bigger perspective. It's like, yo, we had this teacher that we went out to, we presented it in front of the class. She really took care of us and like showed us like, yo, this is a great idea that y'all working on, and this needs to be taught. This needs to be brought back. So anytime that y'all come back here, let me know and we'll make it happen. Right. Boom. To your point, it's like you were taken care of, you were brought here to this area. And it's like, well, yes, they care. So therefore the information is going to be there. They want you to absorb that, right? They feel worthy that you're there, right? And you want to make sure that everybody else has that same experience, the same opportunity to do the damn thing. So that's why when you say like, I want to bring 10 filmmakers, I'm like, bro has to be making some big bucks to do that, because unless they're gonna be staying on the boat in Nice, like he wants them to stay right at that same hotel everybody else at, so he gonna have to figure out how to get that 2,000 plus a night and make it work, right? So that is like the key here. I'm like, yo, like I resonate with you so much, because like that is essentially my being right now, my essence. Like, yo, like just make it work, trying to get there and having those experiences, and then just asking the questions that could get you to that second place, right? You were networking with all those people while you were there. You did not waste a moment, right? So my thing is that every entrepreneur, every person reading, listening to this is like, y'all need to not waste any moment that y'all have, especially if y'all are in those places where y'all feel like you may be a little bit out of place. If it's for a good reason, if it's because it may be a little too bougie for your liking, start talking, start asking around. You might find there might be one bougie person that acts just like you, and you might make a friend, right? So that's what you don't know. There's a lot of people that have that wealth, have that stature, that act just like regular individuals that may want to help other people get to where they are. And it's a matter of you just networking and asking around and talking to those who are willing to talk to you. So
literally, man. Like, and like I'll leave this last note, right? Atlanta taught me that any and every make money, but only a few people can make a lot of money at one time, right? So ever since I got into the advertising space, I have really and truly learned and now understand why people are like, yeah, this is $1 million budget for this ad. This is a $2 million budget for this ad. Legit, man. Like, one of my OGs told me, he was like, man, like I took a hit. I was like, what you mean you took a hit? This man said, hey, I a really big project. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how big was it? That told me 6 figures. I said, oh, shit. At once? I said, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? And legit, just no like reserve, no nothing like that. It was like, yeah, just all 6 figures. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, yo, what? Excuse me? Huh? But again, like when you put in the work, and when your stripes have shown, and when people see, they like, oh yeah, nah, whatever he charging, I pay that. You know what I'm saying? I tell a lot of young entrepreneurs, like, don't be afraid to charge what you want to weed people out, because the people that like pay the premium, they respect you. Question what they're getting, because they already understand. Oh, yeah, I gotta pay like $20K for this one shoot. Okay, cool, fine. And you want me to fly you out too? And you want to put you in a hotel? If you insist. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one right there. If you insist.
Literally, man, like these are the things that young black creators never taught to learn about and never taught to know. You know what I'm saying? That yes, this $50 shoot that you're doing in the middle of nowhere, creating these beautiful images, is actually worth $10,000, $20,000. Let's not get into copywriting. Let's not get into like ownership of these images. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get into licensing. That's a bigger conversation that not a lot of people are even talking about. Like, yes, they're but then when people understand, wait, nah, you gotta actually you want to put this on the billboard? You gotta pay for that.
Get
Oh,
your
you want to put this here?
residuals. Get your residuals.
Real life, man. Like we are only taught to get the front, get the back end, and that's what I'm always pushing anybody that's around me to make sure you get. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna pay for somebody to do something that's work for hire, I'm gonna make that be known. Hey, look, this is work for hire.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're doing it all to get paid, let's do it. Let's do it. There is so much money in the world. Literally, I think about J. Cole's song 100 Mil, and it's funny because literally every black person is worth $1 million. Every black person in America is worth $100 million.
Minimum.
Minimum 100 million. So yes, when you charge what you charge, you need that. That's how much you worth. This skin that we got, this melanin, 100 mil. 100 mil. What you
And they're gonna
mean
be
you only
like,
charging?
they're gonna be like, okay.
All right, since you know or whatever, here, damn.
God damn it! They finally learned it.
You thought, yeah.
Shit. Let me get my checkbook out. Damn.
Dwight, you are black excellence. You are, the energy that you brought here. We connected in a group chat, just knowing that, from Deontay down to Mike, down to everybody just sharing, their life and their journeys, started when we were in high school. Like you've just been a really positive energy that I've been able to follow. I highly encourage y'all, everyone listening to follow Dwight James III on all media platforms. Check out his website. Continue to follow his work as well. Is there some pieces, some films you'd like us to promote?
Yeah, so right now I am still fundraising for my second short film, King's Crown, which is about a father who's also a veteran who learns how to take care of his hair. It is a very important story to me. It is actually inspired by one of my beloved mentors, Dr. He is a Vietnam veteran, and he is also hopefully and about to be former president of the Jackson Urban League, and he is a true definition of a servant leader. And I wanted to do this film in his honor because of how much he means to me. And you know what I'm saying, as somebody that is finally growing their hair out after so many years of having the low cut, you know what I'm saying, this is also to growth, to evolution, to being able to step into the fullness of who you are as a result of like learning. The person that used to take care of your hair is no longer here. So now how are you going to take care of it for yourself? How are you going to be sacrificial enough to be like, I'm uncomfortable in this moment. However, there's still somebody that's going to take care of me of who isn't there. You know what I'm saying? So you can definitely look out for that. And also any other project that I have going on. So that is my book of poems. That is also my documentary work that I do, whether it be with my people in Mississippi or even my personal stuff. But yeah, man, right there, King's Crown and my documentary, Follow Me. So follow the information about Follow Me is going to come out soon once I acquire more funding for King's Crown. And if anybody wants to learn more about it, you can visit th3msw.com back King's Crown. That's th3msw.com /King's Crown. And I allow me to be in this space, being able to share my thoughts, share my experiences, man. I'm looking forward to coming back, looking forward to sharing man. And again, thank y'all so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you,
gonna
guys.
definitely have you back for sure. Don't forget about us. This is family now.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to con too, so make sure you got some extra funds.
Yeah,
Hey,
bro.
man, listen, we can figure something out, bro. Because again, there's so much financial opportunity out here. There's so much to do and experience, man. And you'll never really know until you ask. And man, Mike, you already know we locked in, man. Ain't no switching up. For real.
Big time.
Yo.
All right, bet. Say less.
Well, appreciate you. Thank you for another great episode.